I think that we could all agree here that 2023 was the absolute worst year of Disney, and the fact that it was their 100th anniversary that came along with multiple box office failures like Indiana Jones 5, Ant-Man 3, and let's not forget about the Marvels and Wish at the later half of 2023. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Bob Iger is that we know that he senses the walls are closing in. I mentioned this before in the past, but he's really acting in an erratic nature right now. Basically, he's in all different directions, not knowing exactly what to do, making all the worst calls that you could ever even imagine, and not only are there false promises being made by Bob Iger to the general public, I mean, he lied about quieting down the noise, and then doing the complete opposite and really supporting all of the agenda-driven strategies that Disney has been essentially chasing with all these live-action remakes and their take on animated material, etc., etc. Now, it's even interesting, past beyond all of this, has a lot to do with what Bob Iger had to address when it comes to their legal situation, all the lawsuits that are going on with the Walt Disney Company, and how basically this is impacting their focus on many different productions to a degree, and how Bob Iger is beginning to lose basically his mind over all these different scenarios that are impacting all divisions over at the Walt Disney Company. Now, what's interesting about this is that, yes, we know that Bob Iger is really beginning to sense that his legacy is pretty much no more. If you even want to argue that he had a legacy to begin with, right? But moving onwards is that with Bob Iger already heading into damage control for all divisions at the Walt Disney Company, one major development has much to do with Bob Iger's heated response toward multiple lawsuits going against the Walt Disney Company, even the one organized by both Elon Musk and Gina Carano. Now, Bob Iger delivered the following as a desperate move to save the company. As CEO, it is my full responsibility to remain transparent with our customers and shareholders around the globe. I think it's only fair to address our current legal situation to a certain degree to provide transparency to those that follow the Walt Disney Company and all of its divisions. All I can say is that we hold no concern about any claims that are being made or any lawsuits being organized against many of our divisions here, and view this as nothing more than a distraction from accomplishing our many different productions for both our film slate and the series of television programs that we have in the works for next year. I am unwilling to go into full detail over all of our legal scenarios that we are attempting to tame, but we view this as nothing more than a desperate attempt to halt specific productions that support our usage of DEI, which I cannot stress enough has nothing to do with any sort of an agenda. Whatever I have said before in the past or recently, I believe was taken out of context and blown out of proportion, and as CEO, I will be making use to handle our legal challenges correctly while still moving forward with our productions and plans for the theme parks around the world. I would also like to address that our legal situation from multiple individuals is not only forcing us to lose some level of focus, but it's also taking away the proper time to spend on our plans for the years to come with our entertainment business model. In addition to this, I would also like to address that certain powerful individuals attempting to make a case against us are nothing more than false claims that we are about to take care of immediately to find a solution so that we can focus on our strategy for the future of our film slate to its maximum potential. It's not only unfair for such a large portion of the general public to be exposed to said claims about how the Walt Disney Company functions, but it's also irresponsible to not do the proper research to what our true motive is for all of our live-action and animated projects. Again, I also must be clear, we do not engage or provoke any kind of cultural wars, and nor do we support anything like that. This is not what the Walt Disney Company is and never will be about, and to those claiming that, I heavily suggest to our customers to research the advantages of DEI in all Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney-related content in general, and how it will allow us to reach a wider global audience to properly expand our many business models for the years to come. Now guys, let me stop here quickly for 1 second. Now, notice how Bob Iger indirectly addressed and pointed the finger at Elon Musk. Specific powerful figures, he says, that are moving forward with a legal case against Bob Iger and those over at Disney. This is without a doubt Elon Musk and Gina Carano's lawsuit really cutting deep at the Disney company, because their case grows stronger and stronger every single week based on what's been going on with everything that has happened with Kathleen Kennedy over at Lucasfilm, new truths and bombshells that are being organized right now by ex-Lucasfilm employees that were fired, that are being gathered by Elon Musk to support another lawsuit against Disney. We'll talk more about that in the next couple of weeks as that develops. But interestingly enough, Bob Iger is sounding like he's very frightened right now. Are you guys not picking up on that vibe? He's really trying to steer the focus away from the lawsuits and more on the agenda, more on the productions, everything that's going on with the movies, the TV shows, etc., etc. So again, Bob Iger really doesn't know what to do at this point. Elon Musk, Gina Carano, and among others that are really putting Disney into this overall, scarce situation where basically they're walking on eggshells right now. You got the whole Nelson Peltz scenario, you got the Daily Wire going up against Disney, you had South Park that called them out back in October of 2023. All of these individuals, all of these studios and or organizations that are calling out Disney is only making things worse for Bob Iger's sake, and that's why he's really going in all different directions at this point. But moving onwards, alright? He goes on to conclude, I would also like to inform everyone that we will be announcing more details about our stance on all the cases and claims being made as they develop over the next several months to properly address the situation on many levels. To all of our shareholders and customers, we are more than proud for our loyal customers understanding everything. Thank you. Now again, Bob Iger is the worst CEO because he lies. He always lies to the general public. We all saw what that leaked video of Bob Iger contained. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was from a couple of years ago of how he does support the agenda. He's all about the agenda. And just some months ago, he's like, oh, it's all about quieting down the noise, right? We want to quiet down the noise. That's not what the Disney company is about, blah, 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 right? So again, we know that Elon Musk and Gina's case is cutting deep at the Disney company. They know it, we know it, and other lawsuits are rising against Disney. And the whole Nelson Peltz scenario, by the way, is only wreaking havoc more for Bob Iger's legacy. That's also why he's beginning this scramble with the board of directors and multiple emergency meetings happening throughout the past number of weeks. And it's not looking good in the slightest when it comes to 2025 and 2026, 2 big years that Bob Iger wants to make sure that is going to pretty much perform effectively to kind of close the deal on his legacy, because he plans to step down in 26. If there even will be a Disney by that year, by the way. But overall, guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.